said, get the fuck out my face. Why are you in my face? Why are you recording me? Ain't you supposed to be security?
Tell it to her now. Go ahead.
Huh?
Say it again. Say it.
Yo, leaked security footage from that wild 2018 incident between Cardi B and a Beverly Hills security guard just hit the internet, and it's already breaking the algorithm. The hallway cameras caught everything. Cardi and security guard Emani Ellis going at it outside that OB-GYN office, with Ellis's phone up recording and Cardi looking like she's about to lose it. Word on the street is Cardi's team tried to keep this tape buried for years, but now it's everywhere, and the timing couldn't be worse. Let me explain.
Face with your right hand or your left hand. If you wanted to do it, you could have done it, correct?
But
You're
I
not
didn't.
disabled.
But
right?
I didn't because I had a baby inside me.
Chapter 1. The day Cardi B got caught. February 2018 was supposed to be just another day for Cardi B. 4 months pregnant with Culture, still keeping that baby bump under wraps from the world, she pulled up to a Beverly Hills medical building for her OB-GYN appointment. What happened next would spiral into a 7-year legal nightmare that's still playing out in courtrooms today. According to court documents and witness testimonies, Cardi was trying to move low-key through the building when she encountered Emani Ellis, a security guard posted up in the lobby. Ellis, who was working her regular shift, allegedly recognized the Bodak Yellow rapper immediately. But here's where the story split like a fork in the road. Cardi's version, which she laid out in her explosive testimony, paints a picture of a pregnant woman feeling cornered and violated. She testified that Ellis pulled out her phone and started recording without permission, trying to capture content of a celebrity at their most vulnerable moment. "I was just trying to see my doctor," Cardi said on the stand. "This wasn't no red carpet. This wasn't no concert. This was her private medical appointment." The newly leaked footage shows the hallway outside the doctor's office. Narrow, clinical white walls, fluorescent lighting making everything look harsh. You can see Cardi, wearing oversized clothing to hide her pregnancy, suddenly stopping in her tracks when she spots Ellis with that phone up. The body language says it all. Cardi's shoulders tense up, her hands start moving as she's talking, and you can see her face cycling through panic, anger, and frustration. Ellis tells a completely different story though. In her $24 million lawsuit filed in 2020, she claims Cardi straight up attacked her. According to Ellis's legal filing, Cardi didn't just use words. She allegedly used those rhinestone-decorated nails to scratch Ellis's face, spit on her, and hurled racial slurs that left Ellis traumatized. Ellis says the attack was so vicious that she needed surgery to fix the damage to her face and ended up losing her job over the incident.
You fat ass bitch, that's why I'm gonna beat your ass.
What's wild is how this one moment in a medical building hallway has stretched into years of legal battles, millions in potential damages, and now viral courtroom footage that's got everyone picking sides. The February 2018 incident happened during a crucial time in Cardi's life. She was riding high off Bodak Yellow, hitting #1, secretly married to Offset, and trying to navigate pregnancy while maintaining her career momentum. The leaked footage, though grainy and shot from a ceiling-mounted security camera, adds a whole new dimension to the case. You can see both women in the frame, Cardi animated and clearly upset, Ellis holding her position with that phone still up. What you can't see clearly is any physical contact, which is exactly what makes this case so complicated. The angle captures the intensity of the confrontation, but not the details that would definitively prove either side's story.
I saw them in the corner, Cardi's back to the wall, and just a lot of arguing. And
according to the building's receptionist, who would later testify as a key witness, the whole thing lasted maybe 2 or 3 minutes, but felt like an eternity. She described hearing raised voices from the hallway and coming out to see what was going on. Her testimony would become crucial because she claimed she never saw Cardi physically touch Ellis, just a lot of back and forth and heated words. The timing of this incident is significant too. February 2018 was peak Cardi season. She had just dropped Bartier Cardi featuring 21 Savage, was gearing up to release Be Careful, and was secretly planning her pregnancy announcement for Saturday Night Live in April. The last thing she needed was drama with a security guard potentially exposing her pregnancy before she was ready. But Ellis maintained she was just doing her job. In her lawsuit, she describes herself as a professional security guard who noticed unusual activity and was following protocol. She claims she wasn't trying to record Cardi for clout, but was documenting what she perceived as a security situation. This narrative plays into larger questions about privacy, fame, and what happens when regular people encounter celebrities in everyday settings. What makes this whole situation even messier is that both women claim to be victims. Cardi says she was victimized by having her privacy invaded during a vulnerable moment. Ellis says she was victimized by a celebrity who thought fame gave her the right to assault working people. The leaked footage doesn't clearly vindicate either narrative, which is probably why both legal teams fought so hard to control its release. Chapter 2, when court became content.
That's why you do security. She was sticking her tongue out. She was flailing her arms up and down. She was jumping up and down. Body shaming me.
Fast forward to this week, and this case exploded into something nobody saw coming. What was supposed to be a standard day of testimony in a civil lawsuit turned into the most viral courtroom footage since the Johnny Depp trial. Cardi showed up to court ready to defend herself, but she also showed up ready to be Cardi. The day started wild and only got wilder. Cardi walked into that Los Angeles courtroom wearing a sleek black wig, looking every bit the part of a defendant taking things seriously. But anyone who knows Cardi knows she can't help but be herself, and that personality started shining through from minute one. During her testimony, Cardi didn't hold back. She painted a picture of a pregnant woman in fear, telling the court, "I was 4 months pregnant. This girl's about to beat my ass." The way she delivered that line had people in the gallery trying not to laugh, but Cardi was dead serious. She went on to describe feeling trapped in that hallway, worried about her unborn child, and frustrated that someone would violate her privacy during such a personal moment. What really sent social media into overdrive was the wig situation. During a court recess, Cardi switched from her conservative black wig to a bold blonde one. When Ellis's lawyer tried to make it seem suspicious, asking if she was the same person who testified earlier, Cardi hit back with her funny replies.
Yesterday you had black hair, short hair. Today it's blonde and long. Which one is your real hair? Or are they both real?
They're wigs.
Okay.
That moment became an instant meme, with Twitter exploding with jokes about switching wigs like switching personalities, and Your Honor, the defendant is serving looks. But between the viral moments, Cardi's testimony revealed genuine pain and frustration. She talked about how the incident affected her pregnancy, making her paranoid about going to doctor's appointments. The prosecution tried to paint Cardi as someone with a pattern of violence, bringing up her past altercations. They hammered on the 2018 strip club incident where she allegedly ordered an attack on 2 bartenders she suspected of sleeping with Offset. Cardi had eventually pleaded guilty to third-degree assault and reckless endangerment in that case in 2022, getting 15 days of community service.
Cardi B accepted a plea deal from prosecutors for her role in a bottle-throwing beatdown that happened 4 years ago at a strip club in Queens.
Ellis's lawyer also brought up the 2023 incident where Cardi threw a microphone at a fan who tossed a drink at her during a Las Vegas performance. While no charges were filed in that case, the prosecution used it to establish what they called a pattern of violent responses to provocation. Cardi's legal team came prepared though. Attorney Drew Findling, who's repped everyone from Gucci Mane to YFN Lucci, methodically dismantled Ellis's claims. He brought in the receptionist from the medical office, a woman named Maria Gonzalez, who testified that she witnessed the entire confrontation and never saw Cardi make physical contact with Ellis. Gonzalez testified that both women were upset, but she never saw Cardi B touch the security guard, never saw her spit, never saw her scratch anyone. This testimony was crucial because Gonzalez had no stake in the case. She wasn't Team Cardi or Team Ellis, just someone who happened to be working that day. What's suspicious is that Ellis claimed she needed surgery for facial injuries, but the medical records her team provided were inconsistent. The initial police report from 2018 mentioned minor scratches, but by the time the lawsuit was filed in 2020, those scratches had become severe lacerations requiring surgical intervention. Cardi's team pounced on this discrepancy, suggesting Ellis was exaggerating her injuries for a bigger payday. The courtroom dynamics were fascinating to watch. You had Cardi, who couldn't help but react to everything with facial expressions that launched 1,000 gifs.
You said she's bigger than you? Is that correct?
Absolutely.
How do you know that?
Look.
You had Ellis trying to maintain composure while her story got picked apart. You had lawyers on both sides putting on performances worthy of primetime TV. And you had a judge trying to maintain order while the gallery treated it like a live taping of Love and Hip Hop. Social media was eating it all up. The LGBTQ+ community especially rallied behind Cardi, turning her courtroom quotes into rally cries. "I was pregnant. This girl's about to beat my ass" became a whole mood, printed on t-shirts and remixed into TikTok sounds. The wig change spawned its own challenge, with people filming themselves switching wigs while delivering testimony about random things. Chapter 3. The leaked footage changes everything.
I was looking at her face, but I wasn't looking like, she got a pimple on her face? No, I wasn't looking at her details or anything.
Now here's where it gets crazy. This leaked hallway footage that just dropped in late 2025 adds a whole new layer to everything. For 7 years, both sides have been telling their versions of what went down in that hallway, but now we can actually see it. Well, sort of. The footage shows the entire confrontation from start to finish, captured by a security camera mounted at the end of the hallway. The quality isn't great. We're talking 2018 security camera technology here, but you can make out the key players and their movements. What's immediately clear is the intensity of the moment. You see Cardi walking down the hallway, presumably heading to her appointment, when she encounters Ellis near the elevator area. The body language is everything. Cardi stops abruptly when she sees Ellis's phone up. You can see her shoulders tense, her hands start gesticulating, and even though there's no audio, you know words are being exchanged. Ellis maintains her position, phone still raised, appearing to film despite Cardi's obvious agitation. What's suspicious is how this footage mysteriously appears now, 7 years after the incident and just months after Cardi's viral testimony. Street speculation is that someone held on to this tape, waiting for the perfect moment to maximize impact and potentially profit. Timing feels calculated, dropping right when public interest in the case was at its peak. Looking at the footage frame by frame, which is exactly what armchair detectives on Twitter have been doing, you can see moments that support both narratives. There's a point where Cardi steps forward aggressively, which Ellis's team will surely highlight, but you never see clear physical contact. No scratching, no spitting, no assault as described in the lawsuit. What you do see is the receptionist Maria Gonzalez appearing in frame about halfway through the confrontation. Her testimony that she witnessed everything aligns with what the footage shows. She's clearly present for most of the incident. You also see what appears to be Dr. Chen emerging from an office door near the end, matching her testimony about coming out to intervene. Real talk, this footage raises more questions than it answers. Why was Ellis recording in the first place? If she was genuinely concerned about security, why not call for backup instead of pulling out her phone? And why does the footage cut off right when things seem to be de-escalating? Cardi's team has already released a statement calling the footage vindication, saying it clearly shows their client never touched Ellis. They're particularly focused on the fact that you can see both of Cardi's hands throughout most of the confrontation, making it difficult to see when she could have scratched anyone.
But for the most part, Cardi B has been her best own witness. She's been able to recount everything. She's being super honest about what she feels is happening. She's doing an amazing job on the stand.
But Ellis's legal team sees it differently. They've pointed to specific moments where Cardi appears to lunge forward, arguing that the camera angle doesn't capture everything and that assault can occur outside the frame. They're also emphasizing Cardi's aggressive body language and the fact that Ellis appears to recoil at certain points. Chapter 4. What's Cardi B's future?
Are you disabled? Yes or no?
At that moment, when you're pregnant, I'm very disabled. You want me to tell you things I can't do?
Fine.
This whole saga is about more than just what went down in that hallway. It's about privacy, fame, power dynamics, and what happens when regular people and celebrities collide in everyday spaces. It's about a pregnant woman trying to keep a secret in an age where everyone has a camera. It's about a security guard who may or may not have crossed the line. And now it's about how leaked footage can reshape a narrative years after the fact. Let's break down the bigger issues at play here. First, there's the question of privacy in public spaces. Cardi was in a medical building trying to see her doctor. While it might be a public space technically, there's an expectation of privacy when you're dealing with medical issues. The fact that she was secretly pregnant adds another layer. She had every right to want to keep that information private until she was ready to share it. But then there's Ellis's perspective to consider. As a security guard, she might argue she had a responsibility to monitor unusual activity. If she genuinely believed there was a security concern, documenting it could be seen as part of her job. The question is whether recognizing a celebrity and starting to record them constitutes legitimate security work or an invasion of privacy. The power dynamics are crucial too. You've got Cardi B, who by February 2018 was one of the biggest rappers in the world, up against a security guard just trying to do her job. But who really had the power in that moment? Cardi might have had fame and money, but in that hallway, Ellis had the camera and the ability to expose something Cardi desperately wanted to keep private.
That she never touched, scratched, or spat on that security guard who she believes was taking a video of her.
The financial stakes are staggering. Ellis is seeking $24 million in damages, claiming assault, battery, emotional distress, and false imprisonment. She says she lost her job because of the incident and has suffered ongoing trauma. Her legal team has painted a picture of a working woman whose life was derailed by a celebrity who thought she was above the law. But Cardi's team argues this is nothing more than a money grab. They point to the inconsistencies in Ellis' story, the lack of supporting evidence for her injury claims, and the convenient timing of the lawsuit. They suggest Ellis saw an opportunity to cash in on a minor verbal altercation with a famous person and has been embellishing the story ever since. What's fascinating is how this case has played out in the court of public opinion. The viral courtroom moments, the memes, the social media debates, it's all turned what should be a straightforward assault case into a cultural phenomenon. The LGBTQ+ community's embrace of Cardi's testimony, turning her scared pregnant woman narrative into a rallying cry, shows how these legal battles become about more than just the facts. The leaked footage adds another dimension to this public perception battle. Within hours of its release, it had millions of views across platforms. People were creating slow-motion analyses, adding their own commentary and using it to support their pre-existing opinions about the case. The footage became a Rorschach test where everyone saw what they wanted to see. There's also the pattern of behavior question that keeps coming up. Cardi's had other altercations, the 2018 strip club incident, the 2023 microphone throwing. Her critics say this shows a pattern of violence when she feels disrespected. Her supporters argue these were isolated incidents where she was provoked, and that bringing them up is an attempt to prejudice the jury against her. What's particularly interesting about Cardi's past incidents is how they've been resolved. The strip club case ended with her pleading guilty but receiving community service instead of jail time. The microphone incident didn't result in charges at all. This could suggest either that Cardi tends to get favorable treatment from the legal system or that these incidents weren't as serious as they were made out to be. As we look at where this case stands now, the leaked footage has definitely shifted the momentum. Public opinion seems to be swinging more in Cardi's favor, with many people viewing the footage as proof that Ellis exaggerated or fabricated the physical assault claims. But legal experts warn that civil cases aren't decided by viral moments or public opinion. They're decided by evidence and jury interpretation. The timing of everything remains suspicious. The footage leaking now, years after the incident and months after Cardi's viral testimony, feels orchestrated. Whether it was leaked by Cardi's team to vindicate her, by Ellis's team to keep the case in the public eye, or by some third party looking to profit, we may never know. What we do know is that this case has become about much more than what happened in that hallway. It's become a referendum on celebrity behavior, privacy rights, and the power of social media to shape narratives. It's shown how a 3-minute confrontation can spiral into a 7-year legal battle with millions of dollars at stake. As of late 2025, the case is still ongoing. The leaked footage will undoubtedly be analyzed and argued over in court. Both legal teams will present their interpretations, expert witnesses will weigh in, and ultimately a jury will have to decide what really happened in that Beverly Hills medical building. But regardless of the legal outcome, this case has already left its mark. It's changed how we think about celebrity privacy, the risks of recording strangers, and the way viral moments can overshadow legal proceedings. It turned Cardi B's pregnancy, which she wanted to keep private, into one of the most public legal battles in recent memory. The streets are still talking, social media is still memeing, and somewhere in Los Angeles, lawyers are still preparing their arguments. The leaked footage might have changed the game, but it hasn't ended it. This story is far from over, and based on everything we've seen so far, the conclusion is going to be just as wild as everything that came before. This story's still cooking, and the next drops are only gonna get crazier. The hallway tape was just the spark. What comes after might flip the whole case on its head. Stay locked, because every round of this trial brings new drama, new receipts, and bigger questions, and don't dip yet. Tap the box on your screen for the next part or another crazy rap story.